You can see the screen right now, right? Okay, fine. So I'm not having the digital pen, so I'm writing with the mouse. So please cooperate with that, with my handwriting. Anyways, this was the expression that we have written in the last session. G of t plus g of p was there, but that g of p gets cancelled with alpha r n0. Our term what it will get cancelled, and the final expression was like this. Am I right? This was the final expression that you have written. Correct, alle? Pranavay, idu thannalle?
G of PL ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത് G of T അല്ലേ കട്ടാവുന്നത്?
G of yes, G of t ആണ് കട്ടാവുന്നത് അല്ലേ? G o p അപ്പം വരും അല്ലേ? G o p അല്ലേ?
G of P
അല്ലേ? G of t ആണ് കട്ടാവുന്നത്. Yes, correct. G of t will get cancelled, and we'll be having G of p, that is optical generation rate, as G of p is equal to alpha r into n0 plus p0 delta n plus delta n square. Here you will take one more assumption, where one assumption that you have taken previously was delta n is equal to delta p. That was assumption that you have taken. And here in the last step, you would be taking an assumption like for low level injections. You can write for low level injection. Low level injection means the amount of minority carrier will be very less when compared to the majority carriers. So we are considering low level injection. You can write in case of low level injections. In brackets, you can write low level injection. You can write in brackets. It's a case where the minority carriers, the number of minority carriers is very less when compared to the majority carriers. That is actually low level injection. So in case of low level injection, we can omit, or we can neglect this term, that is delta n square term can be neglected. You can write for low level injection, this term, that is delta n square term, can be neglected. So the expression will become GOP is equal to alpha r into n0 plus p0 into delta n. This will be the expression. And this you will again write it as GOP is equal to delta n by tau n. You can write it as delta n by tau n, where tau n is actually 1 by, and you can identify from the expression 1 by alpha r into n0 plus p0, n0 plus p0. So if I am neglecting this term, the remaining expression will be like this: alpha r into n0 plus p0 into delta n. Idine alpha r into alpha r into n0 plus p0, 1 by alpha r into n0 plus p0 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് I taking it as tau n. So you can further change this expression as GOP is equal to delta n by tau n, where tau n is actually called the carrier lifetime. Tau n is actually called, tau is generally called the carrier lifetime, and here, since it is mentioned as tau n, it's actually the carrier lifetime of electrons. Carrier lifetime means once a carrier is generated until it is recombined, the time from the point of generation till its recombination. അതായിരിക്കും നമ്മളിപ്പം ഒരാൾ ജനിച്ചിട്ട് അത് മരിക്കുന്നതിന് വരെ, that is actually what we called as a lifetime, right? In a similar manner, a carrier, its lifetime is actually mentioned as a time of generation till the time of recombination, until it is recombined. That time period is actually called the carrier lifetime. So here this tau n is actually the lifetime of the electron. Okay, this is actually lifetime of electron. So this is the basic expression that you need to study. GOP, that is optical generation rate, is equal to delta n, which is actually the excess carrier electron concentration, divided by tau n, that is the carrier lifetime of electron. This is the final expression that you need to study. Remember that this is actually taken, or this expression can be written only in the case of low level injection. That should be remembered. This expression will work only in the case of lower level injection. So if in the question it is mentioned as lower level injection, then you can directly apply this one. you might, I will give you examples in the next class. That is in our offline class. I will give you examples of this. But this will be the expression that we'll be using in the problems. See, this expression is very small, right? You will find that question as a big question. Question paper, you will find it as a big question, but this is actually the expression for that. You can directly apply this expression and you will directly get the answer. Similar to that of our mass action law, N0 P0 is equal to Ni square. It's pretty much similar to that. This expression can be directly used. The question seems to be very big in your question papers, but by using this expression, you just need to identify whether it is low level or not. If it is low level, then you can directly apply this equation and you will get the answers. Sometimes you will be asked for excess carrier concentration, then you can multiply GOP and tau n. These two values will be given. You will multiply and you will get the value of excess electron concentration. So the problems from this equation are very simple, even though they seem to be very big. So that was the thing that I wanted to tell you. So that will be the end of our first module. So now you can sit back and hear what I'm going to tell. This will be our second module. In this module, we are actually going to deal with carrier transport in semiconductors. So far, we were discussing about the semiconductors, how the semiconductors behave when they are not subjected to doping, and how they behave when they are subjected to doping. All those things we have seen in the first module. That is, without doping, they will be behaving just as an insulator, and after doping, we will be having, depending upon the dopants that we add, we will be getting either a P-type or an N-type material. And now we need to see how the carriers in the sense, holes and electrons are actually the carriers within the semiconductor. How these carriers have been transported. So what are the reasons for their transportation? What are the reasons for their movement within the material? How they move within the material. That is actually what we mean by carrier transport. So any motion of free carriers, remember it's free carriers. Obviously, it has to be free. Nammal covalent bond electrons, they will not be moving, right? They are actually in the stable state and they are fixed. Any motion of the free carriers in a semiconductor leads to a current. This motion can be caused by an electric field due to an externally applied voltage, since the carriers are charged particles. That by applying an external voltage, we can move the charge carriers, free charge carriers within the material. If there are electrons, if you are applying a positive potential on one side, these electrons will be attracted towards a positive potential, right? If you are applying a positive potential on one side of the material, if there are free electrons within the material, these electrons will be moving towards a positive terminal because opposite charges will attract. That is, by applying a voltage, we can cause the motion of charged particles. Motion of charged particles is nothing but current, right? What is actually current? Motion of charged particles or motion of electrons, we can say. So this motion of charged particles or electrons can be created by applying voltage. So we will refer this transport mechanism as carrier drift. Remember, this is actually the drift mechanism. In the case of drift mechanism, what happens is we will be applying an external voltage. The movement of the carrier will be due to the applied potential or applied voltage. In such a case, the moment of the charged particles is called the carrier drift. Remember, two terms you need to remember from this carrier transport section. One is carrier drift and the other is carrier diffusion. You might have learned this in your physics or something like that. I'm not sure about it, but still, this is one term, that is carrier drift, and obviously the other term is carrier diffusion. Diffusion means, obviously, you will be knowing that there will be a region of higher concentration and there will be a region of lower concentration. So there will be a movement of carriers from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. That is actually we mean by carrier diffusion. In that, because that is also a kind of transport, like charged particles are moving from one place to another. That is also some sort of movement or transport of carriers. So that can also create current. So these are the two mechanisms that we can see in semiconductors, which can result in the carrier transport, or which can result in the movement of charged particles within the semiconductor. What was one? One was carrier drift. Carrier drift is actually due to the applied external voltage or externally applied voltage, whereas diffusion is actually due to the concentration gradient, you can say. That is, you have a semiconducting material. At one point, you will be having a very high concentration of charged particles, and the other point you will be having very less concentration. So there will be obviously a movement of charged particles from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, and that is actually called diffusion, and the resultant current due to this motion is actually called the diffusion current. So drift current plus diffusion current will be the total current in a semiconductor. That's the last point. That is, the total current in a semiconductor equals the sum of the drift and the diffusion current. Diffusion current due to the concentration gradient. Drift is due to the externally applied voltage. Clear? Is it clear? Audible ആണല്ലോ? Okay. ഇടയ്ക്ക് റെസ്പോൺസ് ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്നത് എന്തെങ്കിലും കട്ടായി പോകുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് അറിയാൻ വേണ്ടിയാണ്. So the flow of charge carriers, which is due to, I have already mentioned this, the flow of charge carriers which is due to the applied voltage or electric field is called drift current. In a semiconductor, there are two types of charge carriers. I will just read this out. You can easily follow this. There are two types of charge carriers in a semiconductor. They can be electrons or holes. When the voltage is applied to a semiconductor, the free electrons, I am not going to tell this again. When a voltage is applied, the free electrons will move towards the positive terminal of the battery, and the holes will move towards the negative terminal of the battery. Electrons are negatively charged particles and holes are positively charged particles. As we discussed, all these things you know. Electrons positive terminal move cheyyum, holes negative terminal move cheyyum maatrame ee slide parayunnallu. That you know, already you know that. This is how the charge carriers move. But this concept is very important when we discuss PN junction diodes. Okay, we will discuss that. So in that case, you need these points. You should know how the charge carriers are being moved. So this is a figure which just shows what we are applying. Actually, an external voltage has been applied here, right? Here, 1 second. Let me just. Yeah, we are applying an external voltage here. Obviously, the current due to this applied voltage is actually called the drift current. That is, these electrons which are marked in the blue shades, right? Yeah, in the blue shades will be moving towards the positive terminal and holes in the opposite direction. So this movement of electrons or flow of electrons can cause in drift current because the current is due to the externally applied voltage. This is actually a simple figure representation. You can draw this. This figure actually represents the drift mechanism. You will find this as simple, but this is essential when we discuss the PN junction diagram. You can draw this. Completed, right? Neha. That's your job. Okay. I hope all completed, right? Moving to the next slide. Okay. So another point that you should remember is, you know that suppose the applied voltage is actually E. If I am applying the voltage E, and you see that the velocity of charged particles is V. This V is actually the velocity of, if I am representing it as Vn, it's actually the velocity of electrons due to the applied voltage E. Okay. So there is a relation called Vn is proportional to the applied electric field E. That is, the drift velocity of the charged particles, or the drift velocity of electrons in this case specifically, since I have written it as Vn, is proportional to the applied potential or applied voltage. So we can equate this with a proportionality constant, that is Vn is equal to mu n, it's a proportionality constant, into E. What is mu n? Mu n എന്താണ് നിങ്ങൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളതല്ലേ? Mu n, what is mu n? In the case of carriers, You might have learned this in physics. That is mu n. Can anyone tell what is mu n? Drift velocity നിങ്ങൾ ഫിസിക്സ് പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ പ്രണവേ? ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ I can tell, no issues. Fine. This actually mu n is actually called the mobility of the charged particles. So here the relation that we should remember is the drift velocity. നമ്മൾ ഒരു voltage apply ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് the voltage applied is E. This applied voltage will result in the movement of carriers, right? So when carriers are moving, obviously they will be moving at a velocity. That velocity will be proportional to the applied potential. That is actually what I have written over here. That is Vn is proportional to E. Vn is equal to mu n E, where mu n is a constant which is called the mobility of charged particles, but mobility of electrons in this case. Similarly, you can write Vp is also there. Here holes are also there. So Vp also can be written as Vp is equal to mu p, that is mobility of holes, mu p into E. Mu p into E. That's actually written over here. You can see that. The average velocity an electron or hole achieve due to applied voltage or electric field is called drift velocity. The average velocity an electron or hole achieve due to the applied voltage is called the drift velocity. The drift velocity of electrons is given as Vn is equal to mu n E. That is how it is taken. Vn is proportional to E, and by making it as a proportionality constant, this proportionality constant is called the mobility. So similarly, you can write holes. It's Vp is equal to mu p into E, where E is the applied voltage or electric field. Vp is the drift velocity of holes. Vn is the drift velocity of electrons. Mu n is the mobility of electron, and mu p is the mobility of holes. Now the drift current density due to free electrons. Drift current density due to free electrons is given by this. You can make it as Q. Okay, just write this expression. All the derivations I will give you in the next class. And just note these expressions. So take it as Q. Okay, Q വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് പഠിക്കുന്നത്. Q, you know its value. Q is actually charge. It's 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. Q into, you can write it as Jn is equal to the drift current density due to free electrons is given by Jn is equal to Q into n into mu n E. Where drift current density due to holes is given as Q into P into mu P into E. You can just note this. Drift current density due to free electrons is given by Jn is equal to, current density is always represented in terms of J. Jn is equal to Q n mu n E, and Jp is equal to Qp mu p E, where Q is charge of an electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. P and n are concentration values. Mu n and mu p are the mobility values, and E is the applied electric field or applied voltage. So the total drift current density will be the sum of Jn and Jp. We have separately written Jn and Jp. Total drift current density in a material will be equal to Jn plus Jp. That you just need to sum that. It's given as Q. You can take it as Q, and Q is taken as common, and Q into n mu n plus p mu p into E. This is the total drift current density. Total drift current density. J is equal to Q into n mu n plus p mu p into E. Okay. This is something which is already mentioned. This is already mentioned. That is Vn is equal to mu n E. Nothing. Actually, just not the unit of mobility. Okay. Just not the unit of mobility. Meter square per volt second. Meter square per volt second. Remember this, okay? Electric field in the unit is volt per meter. Remember that. Volt per meter is the unit of electric field. It's not like volt. Voltage usually mentioned it's actually mentioned as volt, right? But it's actually electric field, and you represent its unit as volt per meter, and then only you will get the mobility unit as meter square per volt second when you do the conversion. Unit of electric field is volt per meter, actually. And as a unit of velocity is meter per second. So the unit of mobility becomes meter square per volt second. Similarly, in the case of Hall mobility, both these are already mentioned. Now we move to the next type of current. First of all, we mentioned about the drift current, which was due to the applied voltage or applied electric field. In fact, there will be motion of electrons and holes. Electrons will be moving towards the positive terminal of the applied voltage, and and holes will be moving towards the negative terminal. And when they move, they will obviously have a velocity, and the average velocity value an electron or hole achieve due to the applied electric field is actually called the drift velocity. And there will be a current due to this drift velocity, and that current also be represented. Jn is equal to nq mu n e, and Jp is equal to Pq mu Pe. And the sum of these two values will give the total drift current density. And now the second part is diffusion current. I already mentioned there are two mechanisms for the transport of carriers within the semiconductor material. One was drift, and the other is diffusion current, which is in fact due to the concentration gradient. That is, there will be obviously movement of charge carriers. It's already written. The process by which the charge carriers, that is electrons or holes in a semiconductor, moves from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration is called diffusion. The region is a region in which more number of electrons is present is called higher concentration. That is usual explanations. And the region in which less number of electrons is present is called lower concentration region. And the current which is produced due to the motion of charge carriers from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration is called diffusion current. Or you can say the diffusion process will result in a current called diffusion current, because that is also involving the movement of carriers, which in fact leads towards current. Diffusion process occurs in a semiconductor that is uniformly doped. Obviously, it has to be like that. If it is non-uniformly doped, if it is uniformly doped, there will not be any gradient. Uniform dope, you will not find a region of higher concentration and lower concentration. So diffusion process usually occurs in the case of semiconductor which is non-uniformly doped. Uniformly doped, there is no scope for diffusion current because the concentration will be same everywhere. So this diffusion process will work when a semiconductor is non-uniformly doped. Okay. So it's actually just a representation of how the things have been going in diffusion. This is actually a region of higher concentration of electrons. And so there will be a movement of electrons from this side to this side, because this is actually a region of lesser concentration, right? So that process is actually called diffusion, so that an equilibrium will be reached. Every place will be equally concentrated. Uniform concentration of electrons will be there everywhere. Until that process, the diffusion process will continue. That is, movement of electrons or charge carriers from region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. You can just draw this figure. This is just a representation, similar to that drift. Drift in the case just Just a representation for this. And in this, at this point, I will just tell you a case of PN junction diode. PN junction diode, we can say that it's an application of diffusion. You can say. I will just tell you that. Yes. So you might have learned about PN junction. Just recollect this. How the diffusion process is important. I will just tell you. PN junction എന്താണെന്നറിയാലോ? We will be having a P-type and N-type semiconductor. We will just join that. It's not as simple as that, but we'll be just joining these two. You will be having P on one side. You'll be having N on the other side. And on the P side, which are the majority carriers on P side? Which are the majority carriers on P side? P side majority carriers is which are the majority carriers? Holes are the majority carriers on P side. So holes I will represent here. Hole. And this should be the figure that you will draw every time when you are asked for a PN junction diode. PN junction diode you should draw like this. Don't just draw positive hole. You'll be having another hole. On this side, you'll be having electrons. These are actually round shaped. Okay. I'm drawing the electrons over here. Electrons. Just give dots over here. Oops. Okay. So on the N side, you'll be having electrons. On the P side, you'll be having holes. ഈ മുകളിൽ വരച്ചിരിക്കുന്നതാണ് actual charge carriers അവിടെ present ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. Why I have given a negative inside? What is the reason for that? What is the reason for that? Whenever a charge carrier accepts an electron, what will be its resultant ion എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഏത് ടൈപ്പ് ആയിരിക്കും? Whenever a charge particle accept electron എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് ഏത് അയോൺ ആയിട്ട് മാറും? You might have learned about ions, right? എന്ത് ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് അയോൺ ആയിട്ട് മാറും? പോസിറ്റീവ് ആണോ നെഗറ്റീവ് അയോൺ ആണോ മാറുക? ഒരു ഇലക്ട്രോൺ അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് what will be the resultant ion type? Whether it will be negative ion or positive ion? Nikhil present ആണോ? Negative. Yeah, negative. Whenever a charge particle accepts electrons, you can say that it is actually going to be a negative ion. That's why I have written, I have marked it as negative inside, because all these are holes. These holes are actually capable of accepting electrons, right? These holes are capable of accepting electrons. At the same time, these particles, they are actually capable of donating electrons. All these particles, which I have marked on the N side, they are actually capable of donating electrons since they are having an additional electron, valence electron. So you can say that, in other words, you have already mentioned like these are actually acceptors and these are actually donors. So So when it accepts an electron, it becomes negative ion, and when it donates an electron, it becomes positive ion. So what happens when we join these two materials is that there is a diffusion process happening. Why? Because you can evidently see from this figure that there is concentration gradient. Clear at p junction, p type and n type. When at the point when we join these two materials, there is clearly concentration gradient. You can see holes are in much concentration on the left side. P side the hole concentration is greater, and on the right side, on the n side, you can see that the electron concentration is very high. So what will be the resultant process at the point when we join these two materials? These materials will, or you can say these electrons will move towards the p side, and the holes on p side will move towards the other side, opposite side. Actually, the holes are actually not moving. We will feel like holes are moving. I have already mentioned that. Charged particles in the movable charged particles in the electron. But when electrons are moving, you find you see it seems like the holes are also moving. So these electrons, which are in high concentration on the n side, will obviously try to move towards the p side, right? These electrons will move towards the p side when we join these two materials. That is, when we join the p type and n type materials, since there is concentration gradient, that is, holes are of much concentration on the left side, that is on the p side, and electrons are of much concentration on the n side, they will try to move in the opposite direction. That is, these electrons will move towards the hole, this electron will move towards this hole, and as a result of that, recombination takes place. That is, this electron will not be here, this hole will be recombined. And now these are called ions, right? This is actually an ion, this positive is an ion, this negative is an ion. Similarly, this electron, this first layer electron, this electron will move towards this hole and recombine, and this will become positive ion. And similarly, this electron will also move to this hole. And similarly, and this way, what happened? We have created a positive layer of immobile ions. In case, this movable ആണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ കാണുന്നത് movable electrons ആണ്. But now, since it has donated one electron, it has become an immobile, positively charged ion. Clear? And since these materials or these particles have accepted electrons, they have become what? Immobile, negatively charged ions. Since they have accepted, it becomes negatively charged, and donating it will become positively charged. So these become negatively charged ions. So now you are having a layer of positively charged immobile ions on the n side and a layer of negatively charged ions on the p side. And now what happens is that, and this electron, now on the second layer, e layer electrons, when they try to move towards this direction, this negatively charged ions will repel, right? ശരിയല്ലേ? ഈ negatively charged ions ഇതിപ്പം ഇങ്ങോട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കും, കാരണം there is concentration gradient now also. Here you are having more electron concentration, so this will try to move, but they cannot move because of this potential over here. ഈ negative potential ഈ electrons they will repel. So that we can say that whenever a p-n junction is formed, at the junction, electron hole recombination take place, and you have a layer of negative ions on the p side, and you have a layer of positive ions on the n side, and which prevents the further movement of electrons. These negative ions on the p side will restrict the further movement of electrons from n to p, and this region is actually called the space charge region or depletion region. This region of immobile ions, is called space charge region or depletion region. മനസ്സിലായത് എങ്ങനെ ഫോം ചെയ്തെന്ന്? At the time when we join these two materials, there will be recombination happening. As a result of that, there will be immobile ion formation near the junction. Junction അടുത്താണ് ഇത് ഫോം ചെയ്തത്. This will be formed near the junction. A layer of negative ions here, a layer of positive ions here. These are immovable, fixed ions. So these negative ions will repel the further movement of, or restrict the further movement of electrons from this side to this side. It will restrict. So this potential is actually called the barrier potential or space charge region or depletion region, whatever you call it. It's actually a potential. Every positive and negative side, that's actually a potential. It will be a value, a potential value. Any number electron move, we need to apply bias. We need to apply bias. Is this clear? This condition in depletion region formation. Is that clear? എല്ലാവരും ഇപ്പൊ മനസ്സിലായെന്ന് പറയും, സമയമായല്ലോ അല്ലെ? Okay, I will explain this in the next class once again. No issues with that. You can mark your attendance. Just mark your number or name, whatever it is. You can mark your number. എന്ത് സ്പീഡാന്ന് നോക്കിയേ. Thank you so much.